Oh, look at this beauty here. Let me turn my stuff up.
You have time for us tomorrow?
Hey, you don't want to do nothing, Sam. You don't do nothing.
I want to make it come to you.
Yeah, you can holler after 2 o'clock.
Uh,
After 2 o'clock.
After 2, okay.
Hey. Oh, hold on. Is that me?
It's me. Hey, boo.
Boo. What's going on?
I am good. How are you?
We cool. Today is the Queen birthday. So we all sitting here. I want you to know, like, this is real laid back. We don't have to, this is a conversation. I'll tell you this, you look fly as ever.
I had to put my lashes on for the people today, okay?
Yes. And look at your nails, the lipstick, come through then.
I do what I can. Got to celebrate for the women's, do what we can together. I'm super excited though to be here. Happy birthday, by the way. Happy birthday, Mom.
Yeah, she in the back eating some barbecue chicken.
It's not the barbecue chicken.
Then we got the whole look like a small assembly line going on over here because
family style.
The subscription box dropped today.
Yes, I need you to be dropping that link again because I was trying to drop a link for it and I was like, I couldn't figure out which one to do, and I was like, well, I'm gonna just tell her I need the fresh link so I can share it.
It's all good. Let me turn my volume down so it won't be any boom, there we go. So let's get right to it, boo.
Look, I got my volume up too. Both of us out of control.
If we go for the full hour, we go for the full hour. If we don't, I just want to make sure that people know like who I am, who you are, because a lot of times people are like, how do you do all the stuff you do? I got a whole team.
Right, got a squad.
A whole squad. I couldn't do it without y'all. And so with that being said, I'm Dr. Jones, of Purple Path and Jones Academy of Excellence. I actually want to, instead of me saying I'm the founder of Jones Academy, I want to say I'm the principal because that's really what I am. And I got papers.
I like
it. So make sure you're following us and make sure you Geretta, drop them links, put it in the chat, or I got my phone right here too, so I can kind of help out and guide the conversation. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start sharing it. But more importantly, I just want to make sure that I pay homage to the women who make things happen for me behind the scenes, on the front lines, however it may be.
Right.
So we have Geretta Benjamin with us tonight, based in ATL.
ATL.
Yes. Look. I'm Harvey World. You already know.
Right. It's okay.
ATL will be my second home. I got a feeling it's coming.
I claim it for you, okay?
Just show me around.
I got you. We got to go to the trap house. We still got things to do.
Yes. Look,
you got to go with me.
Well then, okay. So I'm putting this out here on the air. You find a day, I'll Zelle you whatever, invoice me whatever. You find a day, I will get my flight. I promise.
I'm about that life.
I got to go. Yeah, but man, y'all. So this is Geretta Benjamin, and when I tell you, she is the person that get all my systems together. So if you are in the business, and you pretty much like a one woman or one man show, you got to have some automated systems. And so one of the systems I use is called Dosado, which is my CRM. She made all my canned emails. She have all my aesthetics that are on point. I'm able to operate at a more effective and productive pace. And I couldn't do it without you. And not only when it comes to having automated systems, just the love and the way you pour. Haha, you like that, the way you pour.
I see how you did that.
You can't what? You can't pour.
You can't You can't pour. I just,
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
yes.
You can't pour.
I love you.
Right.
So yeah, Geretta, tell the people who you are, and we can get this conversation rolling.
Absolutely. So, first of all, it's such an honor to even be invited to this space. We've said since day one. I remember having a consultation call with you in my car at my job at that time. I'm a full-time entrepreneur and woman of impact. So, I remember having the calls like, "Hey, girl," and we've been best friends since that consultation call, sitting in my car on sketchy Wi-Fi. So
Yes.
I'm super, I'm super honored to be here and excited just to see what God is doing in your life. But also, I am Geretta. Like she said, I'm Geretta. Instagram, I did drop that below, Geretta Patrice. But honestly, guys, I am here because I just enjoy impacting the lives of women and helping them authentically push out what God has given them and build not only strong foundations in their systems, but also in themselves. So that's ultimately what I'm here for. I just want to see people push past the doubt and fear and really present yourself, not just your offer, but everything that you have wrapped in excellence. So that is honestly my ultimate goal. And so I'm excited just to, again, have the opportunity to be here today and just have a conversation like we always do.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm just grateful. I have like all these things that I think about when I see you, and just first of all, how you are literally history in the making. There's not people that are out there doing what you're doing the way that you're doing it and making the impact that you're making. So you inspire me, and I say that all the time, but you inspire me. Like, you're so creative. When you have an idea, you push it, you don't sit on it. If it work, it work. If it don't, it don't. And we're gonna keep it moving. So you are truly the epitome of history in the making. So I honor you.
This wasn't supposed to go this way. Look at my sister-in-law in the back. Go on, shout him out, Cassandra. Shout him out.
Come on here.
That's Faith. I don't know if y'all saw that or not, but she looked better than Faith, if you ask me. I don't know if y'all seen Faith. I don't know who's gonna see this. My fault, Faith, because you might see this. I know you're going through right now with Stevie J. It's cool. We still love you, boo. We still love you. But this is the original Faith here.
Yes.
No, I'm glad you said that, because when it comes to our relationship, I feel like a little kid, because there's areas like the area that your level of expertise, I'd be like, oh, I'm scared to click this button. Like when you say
Right.
automated, like, oh my gosh, this is real. So people like, oh my, like, Doc, I feel so connected to you. I'm like, that's because she put my words, like I'm sending you asked me for a small glimpse of information, and you just like create this whole system. And I'm like, dang, she cold.
Right. I don't do
Can you
nothing.
tell the people? I think people need to know, like, talk about, having those automated systems, and why is it so important?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think one of the biggest
Yeah.
things, I think that when we come into business as entrepreneurs, and I say we, including myself, we come in here with these big ideas. We want to have a 6 and 7, 8, 9-figure business. But the reality of it is, there is not a business that is a multi-figure business that does not have a foundation. And if you think that you can come in and run a business without a foundation, you can't, because you will crumble. You may not crumble today, you may not crumble tomorrow, but what happens when you don't have processes and systems in place is basically you do what you're probably doing right now, is you're being overwhelmed, you're tired, you're trying to figure out what's going on, you're inconsistent. And so you don't, even if you don't have, I always tell people, everybody's not fully automated. Some people have businesses where they have to be a little bit more hands-on, but having a process is so important. But even prior to having a process is actually knowing what it is you offer, and like, what is the end goal for your clients? Like, a lot of times people, I think, create businesses because they want to make money, but then it's like, okay, what is really the result? And so my goal is, when I have that initial strategy call with people, I just want to help you get your end result, your desired client vision on paper, and let's push it out. Because when you have a business and you don't have processes and systems, you're going to find yourself in a position of not being able to sustain. But if you want to stay a one-man show and don't plan on growing, and you want to be stagnant, then awesome, cool. But I will tell any person that you cannot sustain any business without some type of processes and systems in place, because it is literally the very foundation that your business has to stand on. Whether it's automated or not, you still have to have a system to help you stay organized, because we are not super women. As much as we want to say that we're super women, Superwoman ain't even real. She's a fictional character.
That
But
part.
we're not right. We're not super women. We are women to operate in our own strengths and capacity. And it's okay to delegate to, I say automation, but delegate to a system or to automation, because everybody can't start with the VA and people doing different things. So I just think that ultimately having processes and having systems in place that allow you to stay organized just help you lay the foundation of your business so that you can focus on actually growing the business and not staying so busy in the business.
Oh my gosh, you said it right there. Because there's times where I feel so overwhelmed. And then I think about it like, don't have an automated system that you just pick up and put down when you get ready. If you're going to be automated, be consistent with it. You know, like there are times when people might reach out to me and say, Doc, when are you available? And I'll be like, oh, let me go to my calendar. No, let me send you the link. Let me send you the link.
Right, we all guilty of it.
Guys, let me put the link and add it as my email signature so that you can automatically, hey, go to the email. Everything you need to know is right there. And so those are some of the things I've learned working with you that has relieved some of my stress levels, right? And I like even right now, I could easily say that I do honestly feel overwhelmed right now because of caring for my mom full time, 5 children, a husband who's like a 6 or 7 child, and just all the other things that goes on. And so knowing that you can really elevate and stay grounded even in the midst of the storm is because not just because of the automated system, but that level of integrity that comes along with it, that I'm, no matter what I have going on in my personal life, people know that I'm still going to show up and show out in the best way possible. And so I attribute that to you and the other women who's part of the conglomerate. The only male that's part of the conglomerate is my son. And that's because he's my son, right?
Right. Gotta stay connected.
And he's like a male version of me that's just younger and a male. But I just truly appreciate you for pouring into me the way that you do, because what I can say is, even though our relationship may have been one that we met in that group, I think I posted like, hey, can somebody lead me in the right direction as it relates to learning more about, automated systems? And someone tagged you.
Okay, I was talking what it was.
It's a huge group. I can't even think of the name of it. It's a Facebook group and someone tagged
I don't remember.
And I reached out to you and we've been connected ever since.
Yeah. And I think something you said was like really important is like just the integrity of like your business. Your word is your bond. And I think that's one thing people forget. Like when we set our values, if you haven't, you need to, but set your values for your business. A lot of people say honesty, trust, communication, integrity, things like that. But part of being integral with your word is being able to stay connected. So if you're saying that I'm going to be in communication with you as a business owner and a client, I think that processes and just even having the steps and the workflow set up actually allow you to have integrity to your word, even when life keeps happening. Y'all, I have the same thing. I'm a caretaker for my dad before I was working a full-time job and doing multiple other things. And when life was happening, my workflows and my automation allowed me to stay integral to the word of, hey, I'm going to get back to you in 24 hours because I already have a workflow that says, hey, you sent this client this maybe proposal and you said you're going to follow up in 24 hours. So I've already delegated that assignment to my automation. And so I think that's part of it too, just having your workflows and utilizing that, even if it's something that I'm sending manual, I already have a template for it. So it's so important to stay integral to your word. And that's another thing that workflows help you do. And one other thing is that you were talking about, just life happening. And I think one thing that people have to realize is that you can't build a business bigger than your belief. You can't build a business bigger than who you are. And so a lot of times we are trying to do all the things, but if you as a person are an overwhelmed, unorganized, inconsistent person, your business is going to be overwhelmed, unorganized, and inconsistent. And so I think getting into business, people are like, oh, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm gonna start a business. And then next week they are CEO. Reality is CEOs are organized, consistent, and not overwhelmed. They may have stuff going on, some may pop off, but on a day-to-day basis, they have delegated those tasks to people that they have hired. And those people have, delegated it to whatever, a system, whatever. But we say we're CEOs, but reality, we're handling our business not like CEOs, but just like little habits, like, you know, hobbies and, you know, entrepreneurs. Yeah, we're doing too much. And so I think that's one thing, and kind of going back to, you know, I always say you can't pour, that's part of my brand. What you do as a person is what you're going to do as a business. So I think not even just laying the foundation in your business with systems, but recognizing that you have to start with you. And that's even like what I, you know, me and you, we have conversations about self, and even what I'm going to be building out soon, but you got to start with yourself, because you are the framework and you are the framework and foundation of your business, and you cannot build beyond who you are. Yeah. So you have to grow who you are so that you can grow your business.
Look, I'm going back to the notes. I'm trying to find my notes from what we talked about last week. And I'm glad you said that, because if you know anything about me, I'm a note taker. Right. I don't do anything else. And so we had, our session was about finalizing Dubsado in terms of the aesthetics and the flow. And you asked me some key questions that really like had me thinking, like, as easy as I thought this is, you know, was supposed to be, like, I really got to think about this. Like, how do I want this to be to the extent where I don't feel heavy? And this leads me to some key takeaways outside of the business aspect, but you were pouring into me in a way as we were talking about leaving a full-time position. If that's okay, can we talk about that?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So you told me, and I mean, I got a bullet point like, hey, wealth, belief, and mindset, write all your bills down, go to healthcare.gov, look at, you know, the health insurance that's going to, you know, what it's going to cost in your state, so you can make sure that you are accommodating and making sure that you have a line item for that, so that it can be like an all-inclusive package, so you know how you need to package your services, and paying bills in advance, and set business time on a daily. Now that was the part, and you know I'm huge on time management, but that was the piece that I left out the equation. For me, I was spending, you know, making sure I was spending time, you know, like tapping into my spirituality, my mental health, my mental well-being, making sure I had those words of affirmations, having that routine before I even get my day started. But the one piece I didn't add to the puzzle was, you know, if you're going to go into full-time entrepreneurship, this is not a game anymore. Oh, it never was a game, but it's definitely not a game.
It's real now. It's real.
And so I'm appreciative of that. So can we talk about how you took that leap of faith, especially knowing, I'm gonna just talk about us as Black people. We don't talk about entrepreneurship. When we do talk about entrepreneurship, we talk about it as a hobby or something that we kind of just do, pick it up, put it down when we get ready. But we don't talk about the seriousness of actually going to entrepreneurship to the extent where you might build generational wealth. And now my children can, you know, I can model the way for my children. So can we talk about that?
Yeah.
I know, right? My bad.
It's like, no, you're good. It's so much. Like, I'm like, my brain is like, okay, what do I want to talk about? But I'm going to start, you know, always start with my story. Like, I've been working for my job for 20 years and I have been wanting to leave. And I felt like God had told me before that I could leave, but I didn't leave. And I was out of fear and doubt. And so last year I joined my wealth community. And of course, you know this, I trade, I do crypto, all of that. But one of the first books that they had us read, what recommended that I read was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That book right there, some people were like, oh, I read it before. I had never read it, heard of it. I got to chapter 2, and I tell anybody, I got to chapter 2. It might not even been quite chapter 2. And I wrote my resignation letter because I realized that I was in just a cycle of an employee, and most people are so scared to leave their job. But my thing is, if God has given us the ability to create, if God has given us the ability to actually have impact, if God has given us these things, and me as a person, if I feel like God told me to transition out of my job, I either, one, don't believe God, or two, don't believe in myself. And in my case, it was originally both of them. I didn't believe in my ability to full on do the work. And then it was also like, Lord, I hear you. And you can say, oh, no, I do believe God. But if God tells you to do something, delayed disobedience is still disobedience. Delayed obedience is still disobedience. And so I had to recognize that if God told me to leave, delayed obedience is still disobedience. And so I was like, okay, sis, if God told you to move, why are you still in this place? And so that was the first thing. And so because I knew that I was preparing to transition out of my job, I obviously also, because I had my business, I also began to work on an additional stream of income, which was my trading and all the things I do in the digital space. And then I began to work on my belief. My mindset, we just talked about it. You cannot build bigger than what you believe. You can't build bigger than who you are. So I had to work on my belief and my ability to see forward. If I couldn't see past my job, I wasn't going to be successful and able to achieve beyond my job. So I had to begin to see myself running a business. I had to begin to see myself being a multimillionaire. You know, that's my thing. If anybody asks me, I'm a multimillionaire. It's not a question. My money might still be on hold from somebody, but that's what I am. And so we get so focused on the process, and it's okay to think about the how, but we have to leave room for God. We can't figure every single thing out. We need to focus on the end result. And God has already told us that he has made us the head and not the tail, that we are to live a life that is holy and acceptable to him. He already told us that he will do exceedingly above what we can ask or think. He will give us the desires of our heart. We can't go nowhere saying, God, you don't give me the desires of my heart. But if we don't even number one, have anything there, and two, believe that it's going to actually be given to us. And so I had to begin to transform my mind. And I was doing that. I already set my date. And so when I left my job, my goal was to focus on my personal development. I know that I'm an expert at what I do. I know that I have more in me. I know that I am a powerful, impactful speaker, but I needed to work on my belief to be able to achieve those things. And so that is my focus this year. As I grow myself, my business will grow, because I will become more consistent. I will become more committed, and I will be able to hold true to the integrity of my word. When I say I'm going to show up, I'm going to show up. Everything else is going to flow to me if I do what that's already been placed in me by God. God's going to do his part, but I got to do my part. And so for me, it wasn't like, oh my gosh, I got all my money together. Because I tell anybody, when I left my job, my money wasn't my money goal. I wanted to be debt free. I wanted to have certain numbers in the bank. But if God said go, it ain't nothing else to it but to go. And so that was my position. I said, God, if you told me to go, I'm going to go, and I'm going to go in faith. I'm going to go in belief, and I'm going to go in total confidence that you are going to do what you said you're going to do, but I got to do my part. So that's what I've been doing. And so literally, yes, the money is important. Everybody's different. I tell people I'm single with no children. You have a family. And so that's how we had that conversation. You have a family. So obviously your plan has to be a little bit more in depth. But if you had a true conversation with God and allowed him to talk to you, there is no question. Once he's given you an answer, obedience is obedience. And that's what I'm learning. I'm not perfect. All of us fall short every single day. But at the end of the day, if you are a believer, your job is to have conversation and follow the word. Like, that's it. And so everything else, my end result is already known. It's my job to do the work and let him do his part. And so here I am. And so, like I said, just really, it starts with your belief and your faith. And you have to recognize if this is what you're supposed to be doing in this season, because maybe anybody out there, you may be an entrepreneur, you may be meant for business, you may be meant to do whatever, but is it your season? Because for a long time, for me, it wasn't my season, but I had to get my weight up, if you may, and be ready and prepare for what was coming. And so you have to work on yourself. It can't be, I'm gonna pray my way through. That's cool. You can pray, but you got to wait. And that wait means the work. We know that. If you didn't know that, now you know. If you don't know, now you know, people. Okay. Listen. So that's what it's about. It starts with belief. That's it.
Geretta B. I feel like that's a radio personality name. Let me just take a step back, because when I say you looking gorgeous, I mean, I see your nails, like I'm hiding my thumbnails because I took the no chip off.
Right.
But boo, you're doing it, the lipstick, everything. It's a vibe. And I feel like you preaching right now. Like,
I'm on fire.
You
I'm
are
on fire. Because I'm telling you, like, God has so much in store for his people, and he has so much for us, but we as believers, I can't speak for nobody else but believers. God has something for us to do, and it's time to get up and do it. We're talking about Women's History Month and making mark and making history. There is not a person that made history that didn't make a decision and take action. And that's the key. We make decisions, but we don't take an action after it. And so we make the decision, yeah, I'm gonna go to the gym. We wake up tomorrow, ain't been to the gym. We made a decision to go to the gym, but we didn't take
You
immediate
better get out my
action.
house. You better.
Girl, me too. I'm supposed to go to the gym today, but I went the rest of this week. I just didn't make it today. But we got to take immediate action. And you talking about history makers. History makers take actions. We take risk, and we know when it's our season to do different things. You might fail, but something John C. Maxwell just taught us at a conference I went to is that failure and success, you can't think of them separately. They go together. There is not one successful person that has had, most successful people have actually had more failures than they have had success. So we get, Geretta was so fearful of failure that I wouldn't move, but then I had to get to the point and understand that my failure is the thing that actually gives me the I was about to go chart talk, but it gives me the momentum to actually be able to push up. If you're a dancer, you know you have to plie before you actually leap, because it gives you momentum to go in the direction that you're supposed to be going. So we have to get comfortable with failing and not feeling like it's actually a failure, but understanding that failure is actually the thing that is pushing you in the trajectory, in the direction of your success, if we do the right thing with it.
So you basically, so there are, you know, if you know me, you know, my saying that I trademark is a journey not shared is a soul not healed. What you just explained exemplifies that. But then you talk about faith. And so my other saying is worry and deactivate your faith. Like I've been a person who used to worry and pray too. And then God, like, what are we doing here? Because it's either you trust or you don't, because I understand you're a human being. I understand there are gonna be times where you like feel inadequate or you don't understand. And especially if you are a person who was raised to believe that you don't question God. I'm not that person now, but the child is like, oh my God, I'm going to hell because, you know, I'm asking questions. But I had to get to a point where like, God, I trust you. Even, and what I love about how my relationship with God is now, you know, I walked away from religion at 15. Even when I didn't have the ability to articulate that I was walking away from religion, I was like, I don't, this is not me. And that's not saying I don't love the people I love, but I can't live my life based off of doctrine. And so when I started to really tap into the spiritual side of having a relationship with him, it was me saying like, he don't want my perfection. He wants my imperfection, because if I'm perfect, there's no need for me to be here.
In your weakness, he is made strong. So if you're so busy getting rid of your weaknesses, where is the room for him to be made strong?
Oh my God, come on, boo. Because I got a weakness right now to just be egging at me like, well, what we doing right now, God? Come on, say it. Like, I'm about ready to crack. But the other thing too is like, there's no growth in your comfort. Get uncomfortable. Too often we are told, you know, think outside the box, but what we're not told is to think outside the box to the extent that we throw the box away. Because what happens is when we decide to think outside the box and we get too uncomfortable, we revert back to that box. We go back into hiding. But if we got to throw the box away, you don't have no room. There's no way to go to hide. You have to grow. We can't stay stagnant. And so I can appreciate everything that you said. When I say I'm over here taking notes, like I'm gonna have to give the people a recap.
And I think also you said getting outside of the box, thinking outside of the box. I think the problem is that so we'll allow ourselves to think outside of the box, but we don't allow ourselves to get out of the box of our environment. You know, recidivism, if you're using those kind of terms, most people will go back to their comfort zone if their environment never changes. One of the things that I had to learn was that I had to change, not just necessarily because my environment didn't necessarily change. I still have the same people, but my perspective changed within the environment. But a lot of people get stuck in their environment to the point where everybody around them is at the exact same level. You cannot grow. One of my mentors says, one of our crypto mentors always says that DNA does not determine your destination, your environment does. And so your environment literally, you know, the birds of a feather flock together. If no one in your environment has achieved where you're trying to go, get a new environment. If no one in your environment has been able to get past their own point of stagnation, or even have a desire to get past that, shift your environment, because it doesn't matter how hard you try to get out of your own box if you keep coming back to the same place that gets you comfortable, because comfort will win. Your self-control or self-desire is not a long-term strategy. You have to have more than that to sustain you for the long run. If that means you have to get by yourself in separation until you can find new people, because new people will be drawn to you where you're going if you get going. Otherwise, people, if you don't change your environment, people are going to continue to pull you back, and you're going to allow them to, because you're going to think it's okay because you're comfortable with them. And so I think that that's part of it too, is just getting out of your own comfort box personally, but then getting outside of your comfort zone environmentally, doing things you've never done. If you can't, something I just heard, you cannot want to go uphill, but you have downhill behaviors. That doesn't work. You can't go uphill if your whole team is talking about, let's go back down the hill because my legs hurt and I can't make it to the top. Listen, the bottom is way too crowded. I'm gonna see y'all at the top. It's COVID. We supposed to be 6 feet away anyway. So why am I sitting up here comfortable with y'all in a crowd at the bottom? Nah, I can't do that no more. And listen, when I say this is my zone, like, nah. And I want to help people see, women have got to see particularly that we are not, we have to learn to be authentically ourselves in the most bold, confident way, but we can only do that through our own belief, faith, and confidence. Like you can't do anything without those three things. If you don't believe it, how can you conceive and achieve it? You can't.
I feel like that's a shirt, you know. And I'm finna plug her. She on the other side of the screen. But, I need to go head over here and show you. So I'm going to this Jodeci. I don't know if you know anything. I know this is so off topic, but this is who we are.
I know you like some Jodeci now.
I promise you, I'm going to see Jodeci this weekend, right? And so I reached out to my childhood friend, and I was like, man, I know this might be last minute. Look, yes, but look, boo.
I like the hat you got too.
With the glitter, right?
Come on, Jodeci. I had to look. I didn't have my glasses on. I had to pull back so I could read the words.
But look, this the neighborhood name I have, Kwakwa.
I was gonna say Quay, so I'm glad you told me what that.
Come on, man. Come on.
But that makes sense though. That Qua makes more sense than Quay. I got you. You know.
Yes, and so I got my Doc Martens.
So I don't be knowing sometimes.
You know, they don't make Jodeci boots like. Because I think the Jodeci boots I had came from Payless, and I can appreciate Payless now, even though I don't have.
Payless ain't the same.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's been a wrap. Even though I used to slide across floors because they was just that generic, like
no grip.
I'm gliding, but I got my Doc Martens. I just got to find my jeans now.
Always.
It's been a wrap, boo. But yes, you are. When I say you dropping all the gems, one, I can appreciate the fact that one, we are, we on Facebook, even though we're here on Zoom and it's being recorded. I'm gonna load the recording up to my YouTube page, so people always have access. If they didn't get a chance to watch it live, they definitely will have an opportunity to see how the gems you drop. And so moving into the next phase of our conversation, or however you want to put it, I adore you. I adore you because you're you're just transparent, you're authentic, you come with this energy, you show up and you like, hey, I love because for me, being a restorative justice practitioner expert, I don't like to start meetings off with the agenda. Like, let's I mean, that's cool and all, we got to get to the business, but how are you? Like, what's going on? And so what I love about it is that one, we've never met face to face.
Never.
You would think we've been
right. You wouldn't know it though.
At all. And look, I'm like, who calling my phone? Google do on my phone. Oh, hold on. That's Danielle. I'm sorry. That's my niece calling to talk to my mom for her birthday. But she got FaceTime. So why she's using Google Duo like she has an Android? No offense. Oh my God. I just got in trouble over here. I mean, I'm not mad. I mean, but it's something about when the messages come up in green, like, bro, what you doing?
Yeah.
She went to go put her shoes on. She leaving for real.
Don't leave.
But I'm telling you, so that's another person. Like, I'm glad that she's here because I don't know if she sees. A lot of times you can see something in a person that they don't see in themselves, or they see it but don't know how to operate and how to use it or how to walk into their gifts. The girl is talented. She's a hairdresser. All the pixie cuts. I ain't got no hair, but if I had a strand, believe me, I would be going to her. Right. One strand, like do it off of in living single. Hey,
I just need you to start over here.
And look what I say. And live in color. My bad.
Oh yeah, I was look, girl, I wouldn't have been able to correct you no way. I was like, yeah.
But I'm telling you, people have gifts and they need to be around people who support those gifts. Not just financially, but like with ideas, with energy, to the motivation and being able to model the way. Because it's not easy whatsoever. I refuse to sit here and say like I got this. No, I don't.
Yeah.
Most days I don't. And I'm still nervous. I've been speaking for probably the last 10 years and I still get nervous.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I got to a point where I think, like, God just told me, like, the day you don't get nervous for speaking lets me know that you're no longer humbled in this process. Right. Yeah. I'm like, dang, gee, that's
zing, daddy.
Like, let me stay nervous then. It's cool. Right. I know what it's like to get cocky. I know what it's like to get cocky and think you made it, and then I lost it all. And I had to I had to start over from scratch. I know what it's like to be homeless. I know what it's like to be homeless with 5 kids. I know we was just talking the other day because we went to Sam's Club, and going to Sam's Club was a luxury for us because I couldn't afford the Sam's Club card, but I needed it because I knew on the weekends I might not have no money to feed us, but on the weekends they got the best samples. So we're gonna be in. See, people don't like to talk about that kind of stuff. We will literally go out of out. It was food. I'm like, I can't eat that, but I'm a little hungry. So yeah, go and give me that raw sushi.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I still want to eat sushi then. I eat sushi now, but they had the best pizza, the big family size pizza, and we used to take it to the park, and we'd be at the park all day living at Memorial Park in South Holland, Illinois.
I be getting them pinwheels. They pinwheels be good with the buffalo tortilla.
Oh, I'm triggered right now. We love pinwheels, but you know, my mom live here with us now, and so it's a touch and go. She might like soup today, and then tomorrow I'll be like, no, and you gotta keep her fed. Right. So, but I was tired yesterday, and I was like, oh, we went to Sam's Club. We got these pinwheels. We got this. I'm like, it got to be something that's soft enough for her. So I gave her a pinwheel and a bowl of soup. Baby, me and Pooh, which is your niece, basically. Me and Pooh are back there in the room, and she's like, what is this? I mean, didn't say, hey, nothing. She's like, what is this? What did you get? It looked like you just rolled up some dough. I'm like, dang, like, I'm like, okay, I see you still got it. Let's find you something to eat. But I mean, then she was like, give me some KFC. Like, fam, you don't want this pinwheel for real?
My daddy loved KFC too, child.
How old is your daddy?
72, 71.
That's what it is. I'm like, who eat KFC?
Yeah.
Original at that. Original. You eat.
Like me.
Can we pause for a moment?
Do we need a moment of silence? Right.
Because I believe Tiana, who's on the other side of this camera, may be a year younger than me.
Eating KFC.
But my friend Aisha, my other sister. But then,
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I will eat KFC. It ain't like let me pull up to KFC. But if it's like that, we going to KFC, I'll eat me some KFC. Cause they biscuits fire.
Yeah, I'll take their biscuits over Popeyes because baby, the mashed potatoes fire too. But I do like the little party wings. I don't eat I might get the little party wings or whatever, but But let's back up, because not only do she eat KFC, she eat Arby's too. I think the last time I had Arby's, I was probably pregnant with Patrick, and Patrick is 21.
Yeah, my sister, my other, I call her my other mother. They like Arby's too. I don't like Arby's.
And someone said, I think it was like, because we still in the pandemic, people fail to realize that. But somebody was like, man, if Arby's can make it, anybody, like, there is no doubt. And that's the way I feel about some of these places in my hometown. Like, they still there. Like, what are we doing?
Right.
But it's all good. But this has been great. This has been phenomenal. Yeah. Tell the people how they can follow you too. Like, we're not ending just yet, but I just want to make sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Midpoint check-in. Yes, you can follow me on Instagram at Geretta Patrice, GeretaPatrice. We also pinned it in the chat, but if you're watching later, that's my Instagram, and you can follow me. And like she kind of said, just a little brief intro. I help business owners. I help business owners set up their processes and systems, their client experience, specifically coaches and consultants. I love helping them curate a client experience that we can automate and actually put into play that will help them kind of ease the transition and ease the workload for them to stay organized. And you can also, even if you don't, we talked about our system, we use Dubsado, but if you don't have Dubsado and you just, maybe you don't know what you need to use, I do strategy calls, and so that you don't even have to have a system yet. Just let's get on a call and talk about what your business is. Let's strategize for it, and we will actually kind of map out your workflow for you, and then we can say, hey, is Dubsado the best fit? If not, here goes some options, and I can even connect you with some people in those particular systems. So I just love to see people thrive in their businesses. And coming soon, also I will have some personal growth stuff going on, so stay connected, stay plugged in.
I want in.
Yeah, coaching program coming soon.
Yes. It's a necessity. I think for me, one of the things that's been a highlight of the pandemic, because we could talk about all the things that's gone wrong, is that people have had to deal with themselves. It's one thing when you just stay busy, you're not isolated, you always around other people, you always want to go. And a lot of times, and I'll just speak for myself. I know one of the things I was accustomed to doing is becoming a workaholic, because I'm trying to get to that next dollar, because of that survival poverty mentality.
Right.
And I'm still coming up short. I'm still robbing Peter to pay Paul and Adam and Steve and all them other folks, right? I'm not even talking about disciples, because I know Adam's not a disciple, because
right.
Some people might be like, gee, you fell off real hard. Oh my God. But no, but people have to really sit, because now the world is shut down. The people that you love the most, if they don't live in close proximity or live in your household, now you got to, maybe you're not tech savvy, you're going to have to step your game up, because that is the only way you're going to have any type of interaction for the time being.
Right, because these folks trying to learn these Zoom calls, honey, people in the bathroom, people upside down. I was like, y'all, it's really not that hard. But I'm also very impatient when it comes to teaching people technology. So the Lord is working on me.
Yeah, me too, because like my mama. Like I can't see your face, because all I see is your nostrils. What are we doing right now?
Right.
So
it's a video. Back up.
Just back up, you good. But having to just deal with yourself.
Yeah.
I start seeing the ugly side of me that I thought like I had made it, and I think people fail to realize, like, I don't care how many degrees you have, I don't care how many figures you have, how many zeros you have in terms of, behind your name, your net worth. If you can't deal with the things that are happening to you internally, whether that's childhood trauma, adverse childhood experiences, adverse community environments, I could go on and on, vicarious trauma, egregious situations, dysfunctional environments, all those different things. If you can't deal with the child in you that's hurt, you can't never be the adult that you need to be.
Yeah. And I think that's true. Like for me, going through the pandemic, I realized that I was the problem. At the end of the day, I realized that I was the problem. The first year of the pandemic, I'll tell anybody, it was the best year. I'm not going to say of my life, but I will say it was my best year in a very long time, because I realized that I was in a just cycle of traditional habits. So I was just doing stuff because that's what I felt like I was supposed to be doing. And I was just busy all the time. And then I realized when I didn't have to do anything, like when I had to stay at home, I was like, yes, I've been wanting to be at home for 10 years. Like I was so happy to be at home. I was more productive from my job. Mentally, I was more productive. I was reading more. I was praying more. I was cooking more. And I was so happy to not be doing all the things and not feel like I had to do things. And that's how I had felt. I felt like I had to do all the things. And so then after that first year passed, I don't even know what year is this. So that was okay. I don't know, whatever. And then after I got through that phase, I got to the phase of, oh, I'm the problem. So all the things that pre-pandemic, I was like, oh, I don't have time. Oh, I don't have money. Oh, I don't have X, Y, and Z. I realized now I got plenty of time. I still wasn't doing it. I got money because I ain't bought gas in 5 months. So, I had money in my pocket, but I still wasn't saving. I realized all these things, and I realized then I was a problem. And so once I realized I was a problem, like you said, getting to know yourself. And I was like, okay, now that I know that I'm the problem, what am I going to do? And I always tell a friend and I always have this conversation, like God created us to be solutions. So we spend so much time not focusing on being the solution, but being the problem, that we forget that we're the solution. And
Mhm.
we are so focused on all the negativity. And then with all the stuff that we've been complaining about, even if it's just life, we've all had different traumas. I've had traumas in my life that have happened, but the reality of it is none of that is really the root of what's holding us back. Like, yes, do we have to deal with it? Absolutely. But after we deal with it, a lot of people don't deal with it because it's a crutch, and they don't deal with it because they know that once they deal with it, then they had no longer have an excuse
That
to stay the
cushion.
same.
Yep.
And so I think, like, for me, like, just going through the process, and then it got kind of hard because, I'm single. I was like, I'm single. Ain't nobody in the house with me. I can't really go nowhere because I ain't want to, get nobody COVID. So I was at home and I was like, okay, Lord, I'm bored. I was the only child. So I was like, I'm used to being bored, but this was like next level bored. And so I was like, okay. But really, when I started to deal with like me and realizing that I was the problem, and I started to realize how much of the solution I was. And so I think that if we put more focus on being we were created to be, which is solutions and resource for other people, then we will be fulfilled in who we're supposed to be. Because, like, if we're made in the image of Christ, how many times did Christ actually focus on himself? Now, I'm not saying he didn't self-care. He had self-care. We know that God has self-care. He had moments to take away, but outside of those moments, God was fulfilled because he was making sure that other people were growing. He was good leaders in entrepreneurship, in your journey of business. What makes you a good entrepreneur is being a good leader. A good leader duplicates. We don't duplicate because we're so selfish that we think somebody else is going to come take what we've done. And so we don't. And so we hold so much in that eventually what happens is that it bogs us down because we never poured anything out. And so, my business name is Purpose to Pour. We are purpose to pour. Like, I don't care what your gift is. I don't care what calling assignment that you have over your life. It is not for you. Your purpose is not for you. God didn't say, I gave you a purpose to speak so you could go around the house encouraging yourself. No, you may get a benefit of that, but he didn't purpose you to do that thing that do well for yourself. And I think that, like, we forget and we get so caught up in ourselves and our problems and all those things that we forget the root of why we were created, which is to be like him, one, and then also to go out and make disciples, which means that we actually have to pour into other people's. We have to duplicate. If we're duplicated after Christ, then we have to help other people be duplicated after us as leaders in our areas or after Christ. And so I think that we forget that. And because we forget that, we get so focused on ourselves that we end up getting wrapped up in our own problems because we're not being solutions.
Look, while you talking, I'm trying to get to this page of notes I had because you lead to something, right? So I had posted in my story on Facebook a picture of Yolanda Adams and what's her name? She catch a lot of controversy because she had a lot of different things happen to her. Leandria Johnson. So I posted in my stories, I said, which one y'all think I am, right? And the first two people was my son and my good girlfriend, Anise. And neither one of them said Yolanda Adams, like, oh, you Leandria all day long. And I'm like, I do share because, I'm like, I want to be like, I want to say that that's a compliment, but that also could be sad, sideswiping me right now, right? And so I turned around, took that out of my story and then made a post about it. And then Anise was like, gee, I ain't mean it like that in a negative sense, but what I do mean is like you a modern day Peter.
Yeah. And so I would have said Leandria too. I didn't see the post, but I would have said Leandria too, but not necessarily in that context, but in the same context. She never had the part of her life that I've seen. I understand that we haven't seen her whole life. She has not given up. She is an overcomer, and she has used her circumstances to actually elevate her. What we talked about, your life, your trauma, whatever that is, that's not just meant to happen just so you can be sad and have a pity party. I'm not really good at giving people pity parties. Like, when people tell me stuff, I'm not the person to come to if you want a pity party. Now sometimes I'll be wanting pity parties from other people, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm not the person to come to if you want a pity party, because that's cool, but what you about to do next, boo-boo, that's cool, but what are you gonna do with it, what just happened to you? How are you going to inspire? How are you going to encourage and continue to push through? Because your testimony is part of the test and things that you have been through. I'm not that person. Like people used to call me Peter growing up because it is what it is. Like I've learned to kind of add some cushion, but I would see you as Leandra because you are, to me, an overcomer. When I see the parts of your life that you have shared, I see your story, when I see your testimony, it is a testimony that is built on foundation of bricks. So something happens, brick cool, brick cool, brick cool, brick cool. But guess what? I'm gonna keep walking around these walls until they fall. I'm gonna keep going until they fall because I have something that is beyond the bricks that have happened in my life. And so I literally, you're like a warrior that literally just keeps saying, okay, Lord, you said seven times around this wall, cool. Well, I'm on 5. The wall keep getting higher, bricks keep getting thicker. I'm gonna keep walking though. And so that's what I see you as. So I would have said Leandra too, but I don't know Yolanda's life. She maybe could have had a life like that too, but I know that Leandra has put her life on forefront. And I think that you should have yours on front too. And you share your story. And that is part to me of being able to actually help grow other people. Cause I think if you just show the good side, not that Yolanda has, again, she is a different generation, but you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's my take.
Look, that kind of leads to something. I was like, do I share that part? Because, oftentimes I think one of the things I keep asking God, like, keep me grounded. Don't allow this dollar to change me. And so like earlier today, I had a whole meltdown. Nobody would even know. Like I literally was on my hands and knees, like I can't do this no more. And it wasn't that I was upset at my mother. I'm upset at the circumstances because I'm like, I'm not her only child. And I feel like everybody else gets a chance to just go do what they want to do. I'm taking full FMLA. My life has been dedicated to my mother since December 14th, actually since November 6th. And so it's like, how do I channel my emotions where my mom is protected and not feeling like I'm upset with her? I'm not upset with you, mama. Like, you don't have to keep telling me you sorry. I'm just upset that this is happening, period. And I've been off my medication for 3 weeks. And the reason why I've been off my medication, and then for those who don't know, I do have a mental illness. I was diagnosed as being bipolar depression and anxiety. And yeah, I'm like, dang, y'all want to add anything else to this? Like, what's going on? So I take medication. But what ended up happening was I'm always on top of it. And so when I got down to my last few pieces of medicine or pill, I don't even like saying pills, that sounds so cool. But when I got down to the last few of what I had, which is Lexapro, I called, but because I'm taking the highest dosage, the doctor couldn't approve it until she actually see me face to face. And so I made my appointment to see her face to face, and that's the day that the nurse didn't come. So I'm making these accommodations so I can, pretty much still take care of myself, but do it in a way that I'm able to take care of my mama too. And so when someone decides that they're not able to come for whatever reason, the domino effect is I can't take care of myself. And so the doctor, I'm explaining to her like, hey, it's getting crucial. It's about to be on and popping. I probably do okay for about a week. After that, I don't know what to do. And so needless to say, I'm like in crisis right now. Like I got to slow down because I'm finna blow. And I'm just thankful that with my oldest daughter, Patricia, she's like, mama finna lose it. I see the signs. I know this is getting ready to happen. I was getting triggered. It was like little small things are starting to add up today. And then before I could even breathe about one situation, something else was happening. And like it's my mama's birthday, I'm trying to stay as positive as possible because she's a walking miracle. She was just in, they said it was over, and here she is, 82 today. But God is good. My middle brother, who don't come over on Thursdays, and he don't come unannounced. He always called. He walked. The doorbell rang as I was bawling out, crying on the floor, and he walked in. He was like, "Hey, all right, I see you losing it. Let's go." Like I'm like, dang.
Right. Yeah.
The way he came in the house, you couldn't do anything but laugh. Like what? And he was like, you cried. Okay, you cried. Call the doctor, call the doctor now, figure it out. If I got to take off, go get your medicine, whatever you got to do. But this Coach Armstrong, we done.
Right, period.
Okay, so come, let's get mama together. Let's get up in the bed and see what had happened. The CNA has started back today. And so I'm glad she came because she cleaned my mother up from head to toe. Shout out to Miss Christina. Got my mother all the way together, got her dressed. I mean, her bedside manners was just immaculate. And we got my mom a electronic lift, which that takes up half the room in itself. got my mother situated. My mom has been bedridden since November 6th. Today was the first day she got out that bed, got in the lift, got in the wheelchair. We rolled her down, brought her in the living room so she could see her 82, balloons and all that stuff. We got, it was just real nice. But then the CNA left. Now this is her level of expertise. Cause I done threw my back out. I mean, I got nerve damage, all type of stuff, because in response, like when my mama need, I don't have time to sit here and be like, all right, the medical system, I mean, all systems are messed up right now. The pandemic has really shined the light on the inadequacies and the lack of resources, right? So fast forward, we get my mom in here, everything going good, and she like, I'm in a lot of pain. I got this going on. I'm gonna go, all this, personal things were happening. I'm like, I'm looking at Patricia like, what we about to do? Cause ain't the CNS, I don't know how to use this lift. So it just went downhill from there. And because of that, I just like, I don't think I can do this anymore. And the emails are coming in, right? That even though they are automated, I'm still nosy. And then that helped me understand, like, you trying to control too many things.
Take your app, either one, take the app off your phone, two, turn off the notifications.
Yep. And I gave the phone like, here, y'all take that. I'm cool. I had to literally go and make a pallet in my walk-in closet and just lay down for a second like a little kid.
Yeah, and one thing that you can do on Apple, and I just started doing this, is that certain apps, you can actually silence them for certain periods of time. And so I knew that you could do it like for the phone, you can have your different focuses, but I didn't really recognize that you could do it for certain apps. So I haven't had a chance to sit down and do it for all the apps to kind of give me a lot of notifications, but go in there and say, like, if like mom time is, let's say, I know you have a schedule. If the CNA is gonna be gone from, let's say, 6 to 8, go in there from 5 o'clock, give it an hour before, an hour after, because nobody needs an immediate response. You are not running a business where people need your immediate assistance. You coach, you do things where there's courses and things. They may have technical assistance, but I promise you they can wait 24 hours. And so, and then one thing, train your mind. And I know that obviously dealing with mental health is a little bit different, but a few things like train your mind in a place of gratitude. So like, you were like, I don't know how to work this, I'll say electrical chair. What would you call it? Is that what it's called, electrical chair? The lift, the electrical lift. Yes, you do, because you'll YouTube anything else. YouTube that. And so you have to start shifting your mind. It's not that you don't know how to, you start doing that. But what I was saying before was a place of gratitude. So like, even, I think you were talking about, maybe, I think it wasn't the CNA leaving, it was something before that, but the appointment got canceled, but still being grateful that in that moment it got canceled. That's cool, because this is some extra time I got to spend with my mom. Like, whatever that is, find it as things of gratitude versus it being like, oh, it's negative or inconvenience. Because like, even with my dad, like something I had to start doing, my dad will call, he called me a few minutes ago, but it's 8:56. He ain't got no problems at 8:56. So I'm like, okay, I'll call him back in a little bit. But in the meantime, something happens, I'll find my space in that place of gratitude. If he calls me 6,000 times, I smile before I answer the phone, because if not, I'll be like, hello. I already know what you're about to ask me, because you didn't ask me already. So, because he has Alzheimer's. So, but finding your place, shifting your mindset about it and saying, okay, I'm grateful that he knows who I am, because a lot of people will tell you the stories of people that their parents have Alzheimer's and they don't know who they are. I'm grateful that I had the gas to take him to this, to the doctor's office or whatever that is. And that doesn't always solve it, but if you start training your mind, because all it is your new neurons that immediately go into panic attack. And it's like, no, I have no reason to stress. Like, but you have to remember your end goal. We talked about end goals at the beginning of the call. Your end goals is that the promises are yes and amen. The end goal is that all things work together for my good. So you don't know, your appointment could have been canceled because it was an accident that was going to happen, because all things work together for your good. So my appointment might have got canceled, but it's going to be something else that's about to come along that's going to make sure that everything works for my good. So when you transition your mind, that's like literally all I can think of. Like, I had a moment earlier today and I was like, I don't even remember at this point. I'm gonna be honest, I actually don't even remember what it was about. It happened that fast, but I was like, all things work together for my good. The promises are yes and amen. So I might not see it today, but I might see it tomorrow. I might see it in 15 minutes, but the promises are yes and amen. All things work together for my good. I'm so happy and grateful now. That's how I start every single one of my goals. I'm so happy and grateful now that in this moment, I have everything that I need. I have my sanity. I have my whatever. like it's you're grateful, begin to switch your mind, and in those moments you begin to speak scripture. God has not given me a spirit of fear, whatever that is. Like, it doesn't have to be fear, but even with your anxiousness, those are not things that we naturally have. Does it happen? Yes, but God wants us to be whole. He gives us the ability to be whole, and it starts in our mindset. Our body follows our mind. And so just learning to train your mind. Yes, will you still have moments? Absolutely, I'm sure. But starting to train your minds on the things that you can control, and give us the serenity to, what is it? I don't even know the whole serenity prayer. Don't judge me. To accept the things that I cannot change. And so I was like, what's the words?
All the good stuff.
Exactly. And so, but that's the most important. Give me the peace and knowing that I cannot change this thing, but all things work together for my good. At the end of the day, it's cool, because stuff, but my dad frustrates me. And then, I don't know if my mom on lock, because I told my mom, she my personal stalker, so she might be on here. Hey, Miss, her best friend on here though. Hey, Miss Jackie. So my mama, I think she's still on here. She might have tuned out, but my mama, sometimes I'd be like, Ma, leave me alone. She, I don't work now. So now she used to call me all the time, like, Ma, I'm still working. And so when I went home, she saw that I was actually like working every day. And so I think that helped her to see. But I would be like, listen, my dad be calling me, and my mama called me to tell me about my dad. And I'm like, listen, I live down the street. I know. I appreciate you. And so it gets rough sometimes, but keeping my mind in a space of, listen, I'm so happy and grateful now that X, Y, and Z. And I know that in the end, the answers are yes and amen, and that God will give me the desires of my heart. And that at the end of the day, all things work together for my good. That's all I need to know.
Come through, boo. I'm telling y'all, look, tell them again how they connect to my Geretta.
Absolutely. You can connect with me on Instagram. I mean, you can follow me on Facebook too, but I'm more active on Instagram. Instagram is Geretta, Geretta, Patrice, P as in Paul, ATRICE. And I am your systems, and I was about to say something that was not right. I am your systems and workflow strategist. I love to help entrepreneurs actually build out their client processes for maximum impact. And I also love to help women confidently own who they are and authentically walk out their calling on their life in faith, through faith, belief, and confidence. So that's who I am.
That's what I'm talking about. Look, I'm gonna see who. Let's see. We got Janae here. That's another person who's part of the conglomerate. We'll talk to her this week. We have Denise on here, and when I tell you Denise is the GOAT, you all need to be following Denise as well. We got some upcoming opportunities headed your way, especially in the month of May. We got Lisa Jenkins. Make sure you head over to I'm an Apple head, so head over. Let me not do that. I don't want to be that person anymore, because I don't want to see.
Is it the Google Play Store? Is that what you're trying to say, girl?
Go to your Google Play Store, go to your Apple Store, and download the Slip Out app. And the Slip Out is very important, and we'll have a conversation with Lisa as well this month in regards to the Slip Out app, the work that she does. But she created an app in regards to coming out of the other side of domestic violence. So she's giving you all the tools, the skills, the resources, direction, words of affirmation for those who may be going through experiences that are a little disheartening as it relates to domestic violence. Jacqueline, what's up? She said yes, hello.
Hey. That's my best friend. Hey girl, hey.
For whatever reason, I just knew that. Ebony Ware, you're here. So we just want to shout out everyone that's present. We just want to say we love you. We thank you. Thank you for being with us for this 1 hour. Yes.
And I want to real quick. I want to say, if you are watching this or the replay, I'm gonna say it once, I ain't gonna say it again. If you're watching this or the replay and you are wanting to have your systems set up completely for you, or if you just want to have a strategy call with me, I gave y'all my Instagram. Go DM me. Make sure you let me know that you watched me here with Dr. J and Purple Path. It's weird calling you Dr. J. That was weird. And I could have totally been wrong, but let me know.
Oh, I love it. Right. Give me basketball.
Right. And so just let me know that you saw it here, and I have a special rate for you. I said, anytime I work with my girl, anybody that comes with me through her, because my prices are about to change, so you'll get the old price.
Hey, come through.
Yeah, we're elevating in this season because, like I said, I want to focus on the business owner just as much as I focus on the business. So but yeah, if you're interested, just want to have a conversation, a free consultation, a clarity call, let me know. And I got that for you. So
Yes. Look, any questions, any last remarks, audience who watching, you have any questions, you heard it here first, and it doesn't come like that. So just make sure if you want to know anything about what Geretta has to offer in terms of having a system in place, believe me and you, I could not be able to do the things that I do effectively and be productive in the things that I do with the highest level of integrity if I didn't have systems in place. And the person who helped me understand how to automate my systems is right here. And so you better jump on that call, hit her up, Geretta Patrice on Instagram. And she's on Facebook too, but she lets you know IG is the preference. So make sure that you get in contact. Everyone need a Geretta in their life just as much as you need a Dr. J, right? I love you so much, Geretta. I thank you for taking the time out to have a conversation that's authentic. We didn't have any, I don't believe, anybody who know me know I'm not a script person. Like, you might tell me what you want me to talk about. I'm gonna hit those points, but I'm gonna do it the way God tell me to do it, even when I don't want to. Because I promise you, this last week, I had a training. I know we got to go. I had a training and I had a whole PowerPoint presentation. I'm really presentation out. So I did give them access to the presentation so they could look at it, but I had to just sit down and say, what's up? What do you need right now? And these were to educators who were depleted. And I felt that I do myself and the people I serve a disservice if I don't acknowledge the people in the room.
Yeah.
I'm not a formalities person. Like, I understand we have structure, processes and things of that nature. That's beautiful and all, but I'm not a transactional person. I'm about a relationship.
Yeah, me too.
So it was just amazing. And so God just keep opening up doors for me. One door closes, before that door can even close, like it's like somebody came along like him. Here you go. And so I will be stepping out on faith. I'll talk about that later on down the line, since I am on FMLA, because I don't want no smoke.
All right, we don't want no smoke.
I don't want no smoke. But once again, make sure you hit up Geretta if you want to know anything about systems, if you want to know anything about, having a system that's not just any system. Like, she takes her time with you. She provides a system that is conducive to meet your needs, not just your needs in terms of being a business owner, but also the business itself. And so I just want to say, I truly thank you, Geretta. I appreciate you. We've been rocking and rolling. And I said, hey, you found the dates, I'm coming. I will get my ticket. I don't even care if I got to go Spirit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would. I took Spirit for the first time last year, and I was like, this is not bad. I did not have not one bad experience. And plus, I didn't have a lot of bags either. I had it was like a 2-day trip. So that's where it gets complicated. Right. But I mean, I'm just saying that I'll say that it's so serious that I get to you that I don't mind taking Spirit, but I don't want to, but I will.
I'm coming to Chicago first, so I'm coming to Chicago before you come to.
So then maybe we'll do it like this. I'll leave with you when you come. You get ready to go back home. See?
Right.
Yep. Sound like a plan. Again,
I'm so grateful. Thank you.
I love you, man. You just don't even understand. I appreciate you. I'm here. We're gonna rock and roll this thing called life out together from one Peter to the next.
Woo, yes.
Yes. With that said, everyone have a great night. We'll see you next Wednesday with our next guest. Matter of fact, who is our next guest for next Wednesday? I think I have it right here in front of me.
Oh no, so I said Felicia. It's Felice.
Felice, yep. Oh man, that's gonna be awesome. So make sure you tune in each and every Wednesday and Thursday of this month, because we want to pay homage to every woman that is part of, whether they're part of the Purple Path conglomerate or have been an instrumental influence in my life. Definitely want to make sure that I pay homage and give you flowers while you're living. So I love you, and we will talk soon. See you next week.
Love you too.
I love you, boo.
Oh yeah, I got you.
You already know what it is.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.